Alrighty, for this test, we took and reversed the day-night cycle. We made the day very, very short and made the night very, very long, just to test out on dark pals to see what we could get off of this. Let's get into the video. So today we are testing the Elphidran, the regular one. Its partner skill can be ridden while fighting together. Dark pals drop more items when defeated. And in all honesty, I was going to run through like I've done with most of my testings, from 0 to all the way up to 4, do a test comparison to see everything, but I have failed to see a reason to upgrade this thing at all right off the rip, because there's not very many dark pals that drop anything significant to really go for. If we start all the way up at the top, stuff that you could spam like abundantly, even with this, Hookertees, he only drops fiber. He also drops the high grade technical manuals, but even with that, it's so far and few between that it's not really worth it to farm him. You go to Depresso, he drops venom glands. And you go to Daydream, small pal souls and venom glands. Same with the Daydream as it is with the Hookertees. They're just not worth it to farm. Maybe for the venom glands if you're doing poison arrows early game, but even with that, Elphidran is not worth it. There are some saddles that use venom, such as Frostallion Nox saddle, which uses the most, and Shadowbeak's saddle as well. Not even Necromus's saddle uses the venom, and it's really far and few between of the usages or need of the venom glands, unless you're just doing some weird stuff with venom. There's no venom grenades or anything like that, so that's out. Again, when it comes to the pal deck, if we go even further, Nox doesn't spawn enough, or only drops like leather, doesn't spawn enough in the game when it's dark for them to be farmed, really. Same goes with Killamare, same goes with Meow. They only drop coins. There's better ways to farm this stuff. We go down the list into, he's also a dark pal, he drops horn and leather, but there's just better alternatives. Most people buy horn anyway, as the same with bone and all that stuff, so kind of pointless to go for that. Go even further down the list, I guess you could consider Lizpunk being something to kind of farm if you're really low on copper keys, but even with that, it's kind of hit and miss because you're not getting silver keys. They drop at the same rate as the small pal souls off of the Daydreams and the technical manuals off of the Hookertees, so they're not really worth it to farm. Like I said, if you're down bad, you could get some copper keys and stuff. We go even further down the list, you got the Pyron Noct. They're all over the volcano, but the only thing that they really drop is leather and flame organs. There's better alternatives to farming that as well. Don't know what these guys drop, but they're so far few between. Again, combat, he's pretty prevalent in a lot of areas, but even with that, he just drops leather. Better alternatives in farming. You could go for Van Worms, but we've already discovered for Bone with Fire that you could do that with the Agua version of this and call it a day with that. There's not really any reason to go after them. Catris, high grade technical manual, which drops very little, drops leather as well though. Again, we've discussed this. Even further down the line, Blazehowl Nock. There's a lot of them over there, but they only drop flame organs. Better ways to farm. Failbat, cloth, and small pal souls. You can get cloth by making it from the lamb's wool, and then small pal souls drop off of her the same rate that they would the Daydreams or anything else, so not worth it to farm her either. Hell Zephyr drops venom glands and medium pal souls. Again, just not really useful to farm. Same goes with the Astigons. Not prevalent enough, not enough of them to really go. I guess if you really wanted pal, if you're desperate for pal metal, then you could do that, but it's easier to make than it would be to farm for it. Menacing drops venom and coal, so that's not even worth it either, because you can farm those way easier just by doing the other stuff. Any dark pal that's on here, as we just gone through the list, is not really worth it to go after on a normal for any type of farming material. So I figured that maybe we could get stuff that is more rare to drop at a higher rate with them out. That's not the case, because it would have done that with other gathering pals, or however you want to read this out, but any of the fighting together drops more item from said elemental pal. It really is not that useful. So we're switched over to combat ability. It's not the greatest. It is a dragon pal and dragon specifically, but it kind of goes under the same boat as the Agua version. It's not the greatest at fighting. You're better to have something else to ride on that you can shoot off of the back of. And even with everything maxed out on this, it's still only at like 1,000 attack. So going after some of the main pals that would drop more, like the boss version of Astagon or Necromis, you might not even survive, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to try. So like I said, I don't think I'm going to be farming anything with this because I've invested into a 4-star version and went through over on my own time to see what would be beneficial. Instead, we're just going to focus on the combat abilities of it to see if it's actually worth it. Also, even with its exclusive skill, the Mystic Whirlwind, it's not like any of the other tornado types that are a damage type. For instance, if we use Flare Storm, it spits out 2 tornadoes, but they cross paths wherever you're aiming, or whatever you're aiming for, it will kind of localize on that and hit that area. So say that I'm trying to hit that chicken over there, then I can aim at that chicken, fire the Flare Storm, and it will converge on that chicken and eventually hit it and kill it. But with the Mystic Tornado, it does not do that. For some, I don't know if this is just something that happened or how this is actually supposed to be. But if we aim at this deer, right, it's going to hit that one there, but it will not converge or anything wherever I aim. It just spreads and goes straight in the direction that it goes. So there is no conversion for it to where it actually goes to where you're aiming or anything. It's just a widespread attack. So that's not even that useful as a dragon attack. So its exclusive skill is pointless and useless. The other thing as well, let's talk about this real quick, is that there are no pals to buff it because it is just dragon. There is no pal that is in the lineup that I know of, and I know pretty much all of them, that actually boost up dragon pals. Like Hookrates increases power attack or attack power on dark pals. So that helps out with a lot of things like Frosteye and Noct, for instance, will buff her. It will help with Shadowbeak. The Gobfins boost the actual player attack. Even Crimis increases the power of neutral pals, attack power of neutral pals. Rib Bunny does the same thing as Crimis does. You have the Kelpsea Ignis, which increases fire pals. Same with Ruby, does the same thing. You have just the Kelpsea itself, water version, that increases water pal attacks. Bristol, I think is how she's pronounced, but she increases grass pal attacks. Mud increases ground pals. There's nothing in here though that increases dragon pal attack. Nothing that I've found. If I'm wrong, by all means point it out. I'd love to know. But from what I've seen personally, there's nothing in here that increases dragon pals, like specifically dragon pals. There's just to increase the elemental power of everything else. Even neutral has an increase to its attack power, or the neutral pals do. There's nothing really that great about Elphidran that's worth upgrading it or even using it as a pal in general. If you're looking for dragon damage specifically to go after dark pals, Quivering is a better alternative because it enhances the damage of said dragon attacks. If you're looking for something to apply damage to the player attacks, then you can ride Chillet. So you yourself can be doing dragon damage. Dark's kryptonite is dragon damage, so that would be good for Necromis. Quivering is a good alternative, which we'll be testing them out here soon, just to basically show the enhancement of the dragon attacks and see how well they do against Necromis. But with all that being said, we'll just take him over there as it is nighttime, and we'll see how well he does against Necromis. Now I'm going to have to help, and I will help, but we'll see how much damage that he does actually against Necromis. Yeah, he's getting his butt whooped. Nope, he already died. So yeah, I see no point in having Elphidra as a pal. So as far as is the Elphidra worth it, I'd say absolutely not. In no way, shape, or form should you even bother with this pal in general. Bother with it for combat capabilities or even work capabilities. It's just not worth it. And for the question that was in the comments of the last video, yes, this thing will in fact go across the water, and it can run as well, but its stamina does not go up and its health will go down, as we can see here. So yeah, I guess some aqua pals can run in the water like that, and there you go. So if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, and if you enjoy my content, drop a sub. Other than that, we'll see you on the next one. Keep your willy washed. Peace out.